Where'd you steal this car, boy? Mercedes like this? You people can't afford the down payment, let alone the whole damn thing. Officer Garrett Brennan's flashlight beam cuts through the December night. Christmas lights twinkle on distant houses. Officer, I'm a doctor. I have an emergency. A doctor? Brennan laughs, spits near the tire. Right, and I'm Santa Claus. Step out. Now! The dashboard camera captures it all. Red and blue lights flash against frosted asphalt. It's 11:47 p.m. on Interstate 85. Inside the Mercedes, Dr. Julian Hayes sits in Navy scrubs. His phone buzzes again. Hospital emergency, lights up the screen. His hands shake on the wheel. Brennan taps his flashlight against the window. Metal on glass. Hard. Harder. I said, out, boy. Or do I need to drag you? What Brennan didn't know, the woman dying in that hospital would make him regret every word. 6 hours earlier, the hallways of Memorial Grace Hospital smell like antiseptic and hope. Julian Hayes walks past the cardiology wing at 6:30 p.m. His navy scrubs are crisp. His white coat bears his name in embroidered letters. A nurse waves from the station. Good evening, Dr. Hayes. He smiles, returns the greeting. His footsteps echo against polished floors. In the cardiac ICU, a family waits. The mother clutches a tissue. Their daughter, 23, recovering from emergency valve replacement, sleeps peacefully behind the glass. Dr. Hayes, thank you for saving our girl. Julian shakes the father's hand. She's strong. She'll make a full recovery. This is the part of medicine that textbooks don't teach. The gratitude, the tears, the relieved embraces. He's been doing this for 18 years. Harvard Medical School class of 2007. Chief of Cardiovascular Surgery since 2019. Over 2,000 successful surgeries. His hands have restarted hearts that had given up. The residents trail behind him during evening rounds. Dr. Sarah Kim asks about the patient's ejection fraction. Julian explains patiently. Uses his hands to demonstrate blood flow through damaged valves. Think of it like plumbing. Find the leak, fix the leak, restore the flow. They laugh, take notes. The hospital administrator catches him near the elevators. Julian, that transplant case last month, Medical Journal of Cardiology wants to feature it. Tell them I'll review the draft this weekend. Julian doesn't do it for recognition. He does it because a 14-year-old boy in Baltimore once told him, I've never seen a black doctor before. He does it because representation matters. At 7:15 p.m., he changes in the physician's locker room. Trades scrubs for jeans and a sweater. December in Atlanta means unpredictable weather. Tonight, it's cold. Christmas is 8 days away. His phone shows texts from his wife, Sarah. Emma wants help with her science project. Marcus is asking about the Falcons game. He types back, home in 20 minutes. His Mercedes sits in the physician's parking lot. Level 3, spot 47, reserved. His medical bag sits in the trunk, always packed. Stethoscope, emergency medications, sterile gloves. The hospital ID badge hangs from his rearview mirror. Memorial Grace Hospital, Chief of Cardiovascular Surgery, Dr. Julian Hayes, MD, fax. Home is a brick colonial in Buckhead. Sarah designed it. She's an architect with an eye for clean lines. The Christmas tree glows in the front window. White lights, silver ornaments. Emma meets him at the door. 12 years old, braids, bright smile. Dad, look at my volcano model! Marcus runs from the kitchen, 9 years old, wearing a Falcons jersey. Did you see the game? They eat dinner together. Spaghetti with garlic bread. Emma talks about science class. Marcus debates quarterbacks. Sarah tells a story about a difficult client. Julian listens, laughs, helps with homework, reviews Emma's presentation. At 10:45 p.m., he reads Marcus a chapter from Percy Jackson. The boy's eyes droop. Julian kisses his forehead. He's in bed by 11:15 p.m. Sarah curls against him. "You're on call tonight?" "Yeah, but it's been quiet." His phone sits on the nightstand. Ringer on. Volume high. At 11:32 p.m., it rings. He answers immediately. "Dr. Hayes." Dr. Patricia Carter's voice cuts through. Urgent. "Julian, we have a critical situation. Female, 54, massive cardiac event. Acute coronary dissection. She's coding. We need you now." Julian sits up, fully awake. "Vitals?" "BP dropping. 80/40. She won't survive transport. You're the only cardiac surgeon available." He's already out of bed, grabbing clothes. "I'm 23 miles out, 18 minutes. Julian, hurry, we're losing her." He kisses Sarah quickly. "Be safe. Always." He starts the engine. 11:35 p.m. The roads are empty. He can make it. Interstate 85 North stretches ahead. The Mercedes accelerates. 65. 70. 75. His phone rings again. Dr. Carter. "Julian, she's crashing. We're manually resuscitating. Where are you?" 15 minutes out. She doesn't have 15 minutes. He presses the accelerator. 81 miles per hour. Christmas lights blink from distant houses. His mind runs through the procedure. Coronary dissection. A tear in the artery wall. Life-threatening. Requires immediate surgical repair. Every minute counts. The GPS shows 12 more miles to the hospital exit. Then, in his rear-view mirror, red and blue lights appear. Julian's heart sinks. The flashing lights grow brighter in his mirror. He checks the speedometer. 81 in a 65 zone. 16 over. He calculates quickly. If he pulls over, explains the emergency, shows his credentials, maybe 2 minutes lost, 3 at most. He signals right, pulls onto the shoulder. Gravel crunches under his tires. The patrol car stops behind him. Its spotlight hits his rear window. Blindingly bright. Julian turns on the interior light immediately, place both hands on the steering wheel at 10 and 2. His father taught him this when he was 16. "Son, when you get pulled over, and you will, hands visible, no sudden moves." He was right. Julian's been stopped 11 times in 18 years. His white colleagues? Maybe twice. Ever. The driver's side door of the patrol car opens. Heavy boots on asphalt. 2 officers approach, one on each side of his vehicle. Julian lowers his window before they reach him. Cold December air rushes in. The officer's flashlight beam hits his face. Julian squints but doesn't move his hands. "Well, well, well." The officer's voice drips with contempt. "Another one of you people thinking the speed limit doesn't apply. Where'd you steal this car, boy? Mercedes like this? You people can't afford the down payment, let alone the whole damn thing." Julian's jaw tightens, but his voice stays calm, professional. "Officer, I'm Officer Julian Hayes, Chief of Cardiovascular Surgery at Memorial Grace Hospital. I have a patient dying. I need to get to the operating room." "A doctor?" Officer Brennan laughs. It's not a friendly sound. "Right. And I'm Santa Claus. License and registration. Now." The flashlight taps against Julian's window. Metal on glass. Once, twice, 3 times. Each tap is harder than the last. Julian reaches slowly for his glove compartment. "I'm reaching for my registration, officer." "I can see what you're doing. Hurry up." Julian retrieves his documents. His hands are steady despite the adrenaline. He hands over his driver's license and registration. Both are legitimate, both clearly showing his name, his address in Buckhead, his clean record. Brennan examines them with his flashlight. "Julian Alexander Hayes. Buckhead address. Sure. He looks up. Studies Julian's face with open suspicion. "How'd you afford Buckhead? Drug money? Rap career?" "I'm a cardiovascular surgeon. I earn my living saving lives. Julian points to his hospital ID badge hanging from the rearview mirror. The laminated card clearly shows his photo, his credentials, his position. Chief of Cardiovascular Surgery, Security Clearance, Level 5. Brennan ignores it. Anyone can buy a fake badge on the internet. Julian's phone buzzes on the passenger seat. The screen lights up. Dr. Carter, hospital emergency. Officer, that's my surgical team. I need to answer. You don't touch that phone. You don't move unless I tell you to move. The second officer, a woman, younger, blonde, leans down to look through the passenger window. Her nameplate reads Walsh. She spots the stethoscope on the passenger seat, the medical textbooks, the hospital parking pass. Garrett, she says quietly. His credentials look legitimate. Brennan shoots her a look. I'll determine what's legitimate, Rita. Stay in your lane. He walks back to the patrol car with Julian's documents, takes his time, runs the license through the system. Julian watches the clock on his dashboard. 11:48 p.m. 1 minute gone. His phone buzzes again, then again. In the patrol car, Brennan's computer screen shows the results. Clean record, no warrants, no violations. Vehicle registered to Julian Alexander Hayes. Everything checks out. But Brennan takes his time anyway. 4 minutes pass. 5. 6. Julian's phone rings. The sound fills the car. He can hear Dr. Carter's voice through the speaker. Dr. Hayes, Julian, where are you? The patient is in VFib. We're losing her. Through the windshield, Julian watches Brennan finally exit the patrol car. The officer walks slowly, deliberately. 7 minutes now. 7 minutes that patient doesn't have. Brennan returns to Julian's window. Step out of the vehicle. Officer, please. I've given you my license, my registration. Everything is in order. I have a woman dying, I said. Or do I need to remove you? Officer Walsh positions herself at the passenger door. Her hand rests on her weapon. Julian unbuckles slowly, opens the door, steps out onto the cold shoulder of Interstate 85. He's 6'1". Brennan is maybe 5'10", but the gun and badge shift the power dynamic entirely. Hands where I can see them. Julian raises his hands. He's wearing jeans, a pullover sweater, and his navy hospital scrubs underneath. The scrub pants are visible below his jeans. Brennan's flashlight travels up and down Julian's body. What are you really, boy? Drug dealer? Pimp? You dress like a janitor and drive a Mercedes. That doesn't add up. I'm a surgeon. I was at home when I got called in. I didn't have time to change completely. Sure. Brennan steps closer. Too close. Let me tell you what I think. I think you stole this car. I think those credentials are fake. I think you're running drugs in that fancy trunk. Officer Brennan. Julian reads the nameplate now. Please call the hospital. Memorial Grace, extension 4247. Ask for Dr. Patricia Carter. She will verify everything. Oh, now you're begging. You should have thought about that before you decided to speed. A car passes on the interstate, slows down. The driver, a middle-aged white man in a suit, pulls over 50 yards ahead. He gets out with his phone. Officer, this seems excessive, the man calls out. I'm recording this. Brennan's head snaps toward him. This is police business. Move along or I'll arrest you for obstruction. The man hesitates. I'm just observing, that's my right. Get back in your car, now. The lawyer slowly returns to his vehicle, but he doesn't leave. He stays parked, phone pointed toward the scene. Brennan turns back to Julian, even angrier now. You see what you caused? You people always make a scene. Julian's phone rings again in his car. The sound carries in the cold night air. Brennan walks to the Mercedes, reaches in through the open window, grabs the phone. Officer, that's my property. Brennan answers it. Hello? Dr. Carter's frantic voice is audible. Dr. Hayes, where are you? The patient is critical. Her heart is failing. Brennan's voice is mocking. Sorry, the doctor is a little busy right now. He's been a bad boy. He hangs up, tosses the phone onto the patrol car hood. Julian feels something crack inside his chest. You just condemned a woman to death. Dramatic, aren't we? Brennan spits on the ground near Julian's feet. If there's really a patient, other doctors can handle it. I'm the only cardiac surgeon on call tonight. She has an acute coronary dissection. She needs me. Right now. Then I guess she picked a bad night to get sick. Officer Walsh shifts uncomfortably. Garrett, maybe we should verify. Rita, I said I've got this. Brennan walks to the Mercedes trunk. Pop it. On what grounds? Probable cause. I smell marijuana. That's false. I'm randomly tested at the hospital. Are you calling me a liar? Brennan's hand moves to his belt. Julian forces himself to breathe. No, sir. Then pop the trunk. Julian reaches into the car, press the trunk release. Brennan lifts the trunk lid. Inside, Julian's medical bag, a spare tire, emergency supplies. He unzips the medical bag, pulls out surgical instruments, scalpels in sterile packaging, hemostats, clamps, weapons. Rita, document these weapons. Those are surgical tools. Look at the packaging. Could be used as weapons. Officer Walsh examines the bag. Her flashlight illuminates prescription pads with Julian's name, his DEA number, hospital credentials, security badges. Garrett, her voice is uncertain. This all looks legitimate. The prescriptions have his DEA number, boss. I said I've got this, Rita. Brennan opens the glove compartment, finds patient notes, surgery schedules, confidential medical records. Julian moves forward. Those are protected by HIPAA. Oh, now you're a lawyer too? Brennan pulls the papers out, lets them scatter across the highway shoulder. Wind catches them. The dashboard clock reads 11:56 p.m., 11 minutes gone. Officer Brennan, Julian's voice is steady. I have never begged another man for anything in my life. But I am begging you now. Please, let me go to that hospital. Write me every ticket you want. Arrest me afterward. But let me save her life first. Brennan steps close. Julian can smell coffee on his breath. You think you're better than me, don't you? With your fancy car and your fake credentials. I think I'm a doctor. And I think there's a patient dying. Where'd you really go to school? Community college? Brennan's voice is venomous. Probably affirmative action got you in. Julian closes his eyes briefly. Harvard Medical School, class of 2007, top 15%. I earned every grade. Harvard? Sure you did. 12 minutes now. The lawyer's car sits 50 yards away. Phone still recording. Julian's phone buzzes repeatedly on the patrol car hood. Hospital emergency? Dr. Carter. Critical. Brennan walks over, looks at the screen, deliberately lets it ring out. Brennan picks up Julian's phone from the patrol car hood, studies it like it's evidence of a crime. The screen shows 15 missed calls, 23 text messages, all from Memorial Grace Hospital. Busy phone for a fake doctor. He scrolls through the messages. Julian can see his jaw working, reading, but his expression doesn't change, doesn't soften. Officer, those messages prove... These prove nothing. Anyone can program contacts into a phone. Brennan pockets the device. You'll get it back when I say so. Julian's hands curl into fists at his sides. He forces them open. Breathe. Stay calm. Don't give him a reason. But his mind screams. 14 minutes now, maybe 15. The patient's survival rate drops with every passing second. Coronary dissections don't wait. Hearts don't negotiate. I need to search your vehicle thoroughly. Brennan gestures to Walsh. Rita, come here. We're doing a complete search. Garrett, we already searched the trunk. I said come here. Walsh walks over reluctantly. Her face shows doubt now. Clear, visible doubt. Brennan opens the rear passenger door, leans in, starts pulling everything out. The medical bag again, a blanket, An ice scraper, a reusable shopping bag with protein bars and water bottles. He opens the protein bars, sniffs them. Could be edibles. They're protein bars from Whole Foods. The receipt is in the bag. Whole Foods. Fancy. Brennan tears one open, takes a bite, chews slowly. Tastes normal, but you never know with you people. Julian watches him desecrate his property, eating his food, touching everything with unwashed hands, making a show of power. The dashboard clock reads 11:59 p.m. 16 minutes gone. Brennan finds Julian's gym bag in the back seat, unzips it, pulls out workout clothes, running shoes, a towel that smells like detergent and fabric softener. You work out? Brennan holds up the shoes. These are expensive, $300 at least. How's a janitor afford these? I'm not a janitor, I'm a surgeon, and I run marathons. Marathons? Brennan drops the shoes on the ground, steps on them, grinds his heel. Mud and gravel stick to the white mesh. Oops, Walsh speaks up. Garrett, that's destruction of property. It's called a thorough search, Rita. Maybe if you'd been on the job longer, you'd understand. She falls silent, but her hand trembles slightly near her radio. Brennan moves to the front seat now, opens the center console, finds registration papers, insurance documents, more hospital credentials, a photo of Julian's family, Sarah, Emma, Marcus, all smiling at the beach. He holds up the photo. Nice family. They know you're out here lying to cops? They know I'm trying to save a life. Sure they do. Brennan tosses the photo back. It lands face down on the passenger seat. He opens the sun visor. Nothing falls out. He checks under the seats, feels along the door panels. He's searching for something, anything, to justify this stop. But there's nothing, because Julian is exactly who he says he is. The clock reads 12:02 a.m., 19 minutes now. Julian's chest feels tight, not from fear, from helplessness, from watching time slip away while a woman dies because of the color of his skin. Officer Brennan, please. His voice cracks slightly. He hates himself for it. Every minute we stand here, that patient gets closer to death. Her family is waiting. They don't know if she'll survive. I'm the only one who can help her. Then you should have left earlier. Should have driven the speed limit. I was called in emergently. 16 miles over the limit in an empty highway to save a life. The law is the law. Doesn't matter why you broke it. Brennan slams the car door. Unless you think you're above the law? Is that it? You think because you claim to be a doctor, rules don't apply? I think context matters. I think humanity matters. Humanity? Brennan laughs, cold, sharp. You people always play that card, always looking for special treatment. Walsh steps forward. Garrett, I think we should... Shut up, Rita. Brennan doesn't even look at her. One more word and you're written up for insubordination. She steps back, but she pulls out her phone, starts typing something. Julian catches her eye briefly. She looks away quickly. Brennan circles Mercedes like a predator, running his hand along the paint. Nice car. Real nice. Probably costs more than I make in a year. Must be nice being a fake doctor. Drug money buys a lot. I don't sell drugs. I don't use drugs. I save lives. Julian's voice rises despite himself. I perform open-heart surgery. I've done over 2,000 procedures. I've restarted hearts that stopped beating. I've given fathers back to daughters, mothers back to sons. Big talk for someone on the side of the road. Big talk? A woman is dying. Her name is... Julian stops. He doesn't know her name yet. He never made it to the hospital to get the full chart. Her name doesn't matter. What matters is she's a human being. She has a family. She deserves to live. Everyone deserves to live. Doesn't mean you get to break the law. 21 minutes now. 22. Julian thinks about Margaret Shaw's heart, the dissection spreading, the artery wall tearing further with each heartbeat, the blood pressure dropping, the oxygen failing to reach her brain, her organs, her extremities. He thinks about Dr. Carter and the ER team manually compressing her chest, shocking her heart when it stops, injecting medications that buy minutes, not hours. He thinks about the family in the waiting room, probably holding hands, probably praying. Officer Brennan. Julian's voice is quiet now, defeated. What do you want from me? What can I do to make you believe me? Want to know what I want? Brennan steps close again, invades Julian's space. I want you to admit you're lying. I want you to tell me where you really got this car. I want you to show me some respect. I've shown you nothing but respect. No, you've shown me attitude. You've shown me entitlement. Brennan pokes Julian's chest with one finger. Hard. You think you're better than me. Julian doesn't move, doesn't react. I don't think I'm better than anyone. I think I'm late. I think a patient needs me. Brennan pokes him again. Harder. Say you're sorry. For what? For speeding, for wasting my time, for lying to me. I'm sorry for speeding, but I'm not lying. Say you're lying. Julian's jaw sets. I won't lie to make you feel powerful. The poke becomes a shove, two-handed, against Julian's shoulders. Julian stumbles backward, catches himself. His medical training kicks in. Don't fall. Don't give him a reason to escalate. Don't let this become violent. Garrett! Walsh's voice is sharp now. That's assault. He was advancing on me. You saw it, right, Rita? He was being aggressive. Walsh's face goes pale. She looks at Julian, looks at Brennan. I saw... You saw him advance, right? She doesn't answer. The lawyer 50 yards away is still recording. His phone camera captures everything. The shove. Walsh's hesitation. Julian standing there with his hands raised, clearly not threatening anyone. Brennan notices the lawyer. His face reddens. I told you to leave! He storms toward the lawyer's car. The man sees him coming, starts his engine, peels out, tires screech. He's gone in seconds. But the footage isn't. That video is already uploaded, already saved, already evidence. Brennan returns even angrier. You see what you caused? Now I've got some concerned citizens thinking he knows my job. I didn't cause anything. I'm just trying to get to work. Work? Work? Brennan's voice rises. Spittle flies. You don't work. You steal and lie and make excuses. Julian closes his eyes, opens them. What will it take for you to let me go? I already told you, get on your knees. The words hang in the December air, heavy, ugly. Excuse me? You said you were begging, so beg properly, on your knees. Walsh takes a step forward. Garrett, no, this has gone too far. Stay out of this, Rita. I can't stay out of this. This is wrong. Her voice shakes, but she continues. His credentials are legitimate. His story checks out. We've verified his license. We need to let him go. Brennan turns on her. Are you questioning my authority? I'm questioning your judgment. Then you can explain yourself to the captain. You're written up. Effective immediately. Walsh's hand moves to her radio. Maybe we should call the captain right now. Let him decide. Put your hand down. No. She raises the radio. This stop is being documented. Everything you've done here... Brennan lunges for her radio. She pulls back. They struggle briefly. The radio falls, hits the asphalt, cracks. Julian watches. Horror and hope mixing in his chest. This is falling apart. This is becoming something worse. But it's also becoming documented, witnessed, undeniable. The clock reads 12:07 a.m., 24 minutes since he pulled over, 29 minutes since Dr. Carter first called. His phone, still in Brennan's pocket, buzzes. Again and again, relentless. Then, through the darkness, new headlights approach. A different vehicle, slowing down. Not a civilian car. Another police vehicle. Different departments, different jurisdiction. The vehicle pulls up behind Brennan's patrol car. The door opens. A man steps out. Older, salt and pepper hair, captain's bars on his collar. His voice cuts through the chaos. "Officer Brennan, what the hell is going on here?" The new arrival's uniform is different. Atlanta Police Department, not the State Highway Patrol. The bars on his collar catch the flashing lights. Captain. He's older than Brennan, maybe late 50s. His face carries the weight of decades in law enforcement. Lines around his eyes, gray in his closely cropped hair, but his posture is ramrod straight. His voice carries authority that doesn't need volume. "Officer Brennan, I asked you a question." Brennan straightens immediately. The aggressive posture melts into something resembling professionalism. "Sir, routine traffic stop. The subject was speeding, 81 in a 65 zone." "Subject?" The captain's eyes move to Julian. Take in the scrubs visible beneath his jeans. The hospital ID badge is still hanging from the Mercedes rearview mirror. The medical supplies scattered across the shoulder. "Or citizens?" "Sir, he was—" "Answer my question. Subject or citizen?" Brennan swallows. "Citizen, sir." The captain walks toward Julian. His boots crunch on gravel. When he reaches the scattered medical documents, he stops, bends down, picks up a surgery schedule. His flashlight illuminates the header. Memorial Grace Hospital, Department of Cardiovascular Surgery. Chief, Dr. Julian Alexander Hayes, MD, fax. The captain's face changes. Something flickers in his eyes. Recognition, maybe, or concern. He picks up the hospital ID badge that fell during the search, studies the photo, looks at Julian. Back to the photo. "Are you Dr. Julian Hayes?" Julian's voice is hoarse, exhausted. "Yes, sir." "The Dr. Julian Hayes, Chief of Cardiovascular Surgery at Memorial Grace?" "Yes, sir. I'm trying to get to an emergency surgery." The captain's face goes pale. Actually pale. The color drains like someone opened a valve. "What emergency?" "Female patient, 54 years old, acute coronary dissection. Called in 29 minutes ago." Julian's voice cracks. "She's dying. I'm the only cardiac surgeon available." The captain's hand trembles slightly. "What patient? What's her name?" "I don't know yet. I was called in emergently. I never made it to the hospital to—" The captain pulls out his phone. His fingers shake as he dials. He turns slightly away, but Julian can hear everything. "Memorial Grace Emergency Room, now!" Pause. Long. Terrible. "Dr. Carter? This is Captain Leonard Shaw, Atlanta PD." His voice breaks on his own name. "The cardiac emergency, what's the patient's name?" Another pause. Longer. The captain's knees buckle slightly. He catches himself against Julian's Mercedes. "Margaret Shaw?" He says it like a question. Like maybe he heard wrong. Like maybe the universe isn't this cruel. Dr. Carter's voice carries through the phone. Tinny but clear in the cold night air. "Captain Shaw, is that you? Your wife, we've been trying to reach you. She's in critical condition. We need Dr. Hayes immediately. She's coding." The phone slips from Captain Shaw's hand, hits the ground, doesn't break. He stares at Julian. Through Julian. His mouth opens but no sound comes out. "That patient," his voice is barely a whisper, "is my wife, Margaret." Time stops. Complete. Total. Silence. Even the highway sounds fade. No cars. No wind. Just Shaw's breathing. Rapid, shallow, panicked. "Sir, I'll go now." Julian moves toward his car. Shaw's hand shoots out, grabs Julian's arm. "You stopped him?" He turns to Brennan. The grip on Julian's arm is desperate. You stopped the one surgeon who can save her? Brennan's face drains of color. Sir, I didn't know. He was speeding. I thought... You thought? Shaw's voice explodes. Raw. Anguished. You thought what? That a black man in scrubs with hospital credentials couldn't be a doctor? He releases Julian, storms toward Brennan, gets in his face. My wife is dying. She's been dying for 30 minutes while you played power games. Captain Shaw, sir, I was following protocol. Protocol? Shaw's voice breaks. Protocol? You racially profiled a decorated surgeon. You denied emergency medical passage. You... He looks back at the scattered medical supplies, the destroyed documents. You physically detained him. Officer Walsh steps forward. Her voice shakes, but she speaks clearly. Captain Shaw, for the record, I advised Officer Brennan multiple times that Dr. Hayes' credentials appeared legitimate. I suggested we verify his story. He refused. He ordered me to stand down. Shaw looks at her, nods once. Noted, Officer Walsh. He turns back to Brennan, reaches out. Badge, weapon, now. Sir, please, I was just doing my job. Your job? Shaw's hand trembles with rage. Your job is to protect and serve. You just killed my... His voice breaks completely. You may have just killed my wife. I didn't mean, hand them over, now. Brennan fumbles with his badge, his weapon, hands them to Shaw with shaking fingers. Shaw turns to Julian. His face is a mask of anguish. Doctor, please, take my car. Sir, take my vehicle. I'll clear the route. Shaw is already moving, pulling keys from his pocket. All units will know to let you pass. No one will stop you. Julian runs to Shaw's police vehicle. The captain's personal car, an unmarked sedan with department plates. Shaw radio dispatch. His voice is barely controlled. All units, emergency medical escort, black Mercedes, Georgia plates, David Charlie 7842. The driver is Dr. Julian Hayes, Memorial Grace Hospital. Clear all traffic. This is code 3. Anyone who stops him answers to me personally. Julian starts the engine. Shaw leans in the window. Dr. Hayes. His voice cracks. Please, save her. I know what I cost you, what he cost you, but please. I'll do everything I can, Captain. She's all I have. Julian sees it in Shaw's eyes. The fear, the guilt, the desperate hope. I'll save her, sir. The tires screech as Julian accelerates. The police radio crackles to life, multiple units responding. 10-4, Captain. The route is clear. In the rearview mirror, Julian sees Shaw turn on Brennan, sees the captain's finger jabbing. His mouth moved. Angry. Devastating. Then the scene disappears as Julian speeds toward Memorial Grace Hospital. The dashboard clock reads 12:14 a.m., 32 minutes since Dr. Carter first called. 32 minutes that Margaret Shaw didn't have to spare. The emergency room entrance blazes with light. Julian abandons Captain Shaw's vehicle in the ambulance bay, leaves the keys in the ignition. Engine running. Dr. Patricia Carter meets him at the automatic doors. She's already in surgical scrubs, mask hanging around her neck. Her face shows the strain of the last 32 minutes. Julian, thank God, she's in the OR. We've been manually resuscitating. She coded 3 times. They run together through the corridors. Their footsteps echo off linoleum floors, past waiting rooms, past the cafeteria, past everything that doesn't matter. Vitals? Blood pressure 70/30, heart rate irregular. We've got her on maximum pressors, but she's failing, Julian. Fast. They reach the surgical wing. Julian pushes through the scrub room doors, turns on the water. Hot. Sterile. His hands move automatically. Soap, scrub, rinse. 20 years of muscle memory. Dr. Carter talks while he scrubs. Acute coronary dissection. Ascending aorta. The tears are extensive. It's spreading. Team ready? Everyone's in place. Anesthesia standing by. We're just waiting for you. Julian dries his hands, backs through the OR doors. A nurse helps him into his surgical gown. Gloves, mask, cap. The operating room is controlled chaos. Monitors beeping, machines humming. 6 people moving with precision. On the table lies Margaret Shaw, intubated, lines running from both arms. Her chest was already prepped and draped. Julian steps to the table, looks at the monitors. His trained eye reads everything instantly. She's dying, right now, in front of him. Scalpel. The nurse places it in his hand. Cool, familiar, an extension of his will. Starting now, monitor her closely. He makes the first incision. Clean, confident, no hesitation. The surgery takes 2 hours and 47 minutes. Every second is a battle. Margaret Shaw's heart stops twice more. Julian shocks it back, commands the room like a general, calm, precise, unwavering. Clamp here. Suction. I need better visualization. BP dropping. Increase the pressors. Give me 2 more units. Heart rate's erratic. I see it. Almost there. Hold steady. His hands work inside her chest cavity, repairing the tear in her aorta, suturing tissue that's tearing itself apart. Fighting against time and biology in the 32 minutes she spent dying while he was detained on a highway. At 2:47 a.m., he steps back. Close her up. She's stable. The anesthesiologist confirms. Vitals are holding. BP 90/60. Heart rhythm regularly. Julian strips off his gloves, his gown, walks out of the OR into the scrub room, sits down on the bench. His hands shake now. Only now, when it's over, when the adrenaline finally releases its grip. Dr. Carter joins him, sits beside him. You did it, Julian. Barely. But you did. He thinks about those 32 minutes. 32 minutes that could have killed Margaret Shaw. 32 minutes of racial profiling, of power games, of one man's prejudice almost costing a woman her life. Patricia, she's going to make it? Full recovery, thanks to you. Dr. Carter touches his shoulder. Captain Shaw is in the waiting room. He's been there since you arrived. Julian stands. His scrubs are stained with blood. Margaret Shaw's blood. He didn't have time to think about that during surgery. He thinks about it now. He walks to the waiting room. His footsteps are heavy, exhausted. Captain Shaw sits in a plastic chair, his face in his hands, his uniform wrinkled. He looks like he's aged 10 years in 3 hours. When he sees Julian, he stands immediately. His eyes are red, wet. Doctor? Julian stops a few feet away. Your wife is alive. The surgery was successful. She'll recover fully. Shaw's knees buckle. He collapses back into the chair, sobs openly. Doesn't try to hide it. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you. Julian sits down beside him, exhaustion settling into his bones. They sit in silence for a long moment. The waiting room is empty except for them. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. A coffee machine gurgles in the corner. Captain Shaw, your wife was fortunate. We reached her in time, but barely. Shaw looks at him. Because of me. Because of my officer. Because of prejudice. Julian's voice is quiet, not angry, just honest. I'm pulled over 6 times more often than my white colleagues. I'm questioned in hospital corridors despite wearing credentials. I've had parents request different surgeons when they see my face. He pauses. Tonight, I encountered Officer Brennan's racism. But I encounter racism regularly. The difference? Tonight, a life hung in the balance. Shaw wipes his eyes. Dr. Hayes, I promise you, Brennan will face full accountability. I don't want revenge, Captain. I want change. You'll have both. Shaw's jaw sets. I swear it. The waiting room doors open. 2 detectives enter. Internal Affairs. Their badges hang from their necks. Shaw stands. Dr. Hayes, would you be willing to give a statement? Julian thinks about Marcus and Emma. About every black child who'll grow up facing the same prejudice. About every doctor, lawyer, teacher, professional who'll be questioned because of their skin. Yes, but first, I need to check on my patient. He walks back toward the ICU, toward Margaret Shaw, toward the life he saved despite everything. Behind him, he hears Shaw talking to the detectives. Officer Garrett Brennan is under investigation for racial profiling, assault, abuse of authority, and reckless endangerment. The words follow Julian down the corridor. Justice begins. Finally. Morning light breaks over Atlanta. The story breaks with it. By 7 a.m., every local news station leads with the same headline: Surgeon detained while racing to save police captain's wife. The lawyer who filmed the traffic stop uploaded his footage overnight. It goes viral within hours. The video shows everything: Brennan's aggressive stance, his mocking tone, the shove, Julian standing with his hands raised, dignified, non-threatening. The comments section explodes. Thousands, then tens of thousands. This is why we need reform. Imagine dying because a cop couldn't believe a black man was a doctor. By 9 a.m., the hashtag Justice for Dr. Hayes trends nationally. The video has been shared 2 million times. Medical communities respond swiftly. The American College of Surgeons releases a statement. Harvard Medical School posts, "We stand with Dr. Julian Hayes, class of 2007. His professionalism exemplifies the values we instill." 243 physicians sign an open letter in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Dr. Hayes' experience is not unique. Black medical professionals face discrimination daily. This ends now. Memorial Grace Hospital holds a press conference at noon. The hospital administrator stands at a podium. Reporters crowd the room. Dr. Julian Hayes is not just an exceptional surgeon. He is a pillar of our community. What happened last night was unconscionable. We demand accountability. Behind the administrator, the entire cardiology department stands in solidarity. Doctors in white coats, nurses in scrubs, united. At Atlanta Police Headquarters, Captain Shaw sits with Internal Affairs detectives. The interview room is small, gray walls, recording equipment running. Captain Shaw, walk us through what you witnessed. Shaw's voice is steady. I saw Officer Brennan refuse to verify Dr. Hayes' credentials. I heard him mock the emergency. I saw him physically shove Dr. Hayes while my wife was dying. Officer Walsh corroborated this? Yes. Walsh attempted to intervene multiple times. Brennan ordered her to stand down. Are you aware of Officer Brennan's complaint history? Shaw's jaw tightens. 17 civilian complaints, 12 from people of color, all dismissed or downgraded. Why weren't they investigated properly? That's what I intend to find out. My wife almost died because complaints were ignored. That ends today. Officer Rita Walsh sits in an adjacent interview room. Her statement is thorough, damning. Officer Brennan has a pattern. He targets black drivers disproportionately, makes assumptions, escalates unnecessarily. Why didn't you report this previously? Walsh looks down. I was afraid. Afraid of retaliation. She looks up. But last night a woman almost died. I can't be silent anymore. She provides specifics, dates, incidents, names of other officers who witnessed Brennan's behavior. By afternoon, the State Highway Patrol Commissioner calls an emergency press conference. His face is grave. We have reviewed Officer Garrett Brennan's record. We have examined the video evidence. He pauses. Officer Brennan is terminated, effective immediately. Reporters shout questions. Will there be criminal charges? The district attorney's office is reviewing the case. The commissioner continues. Additionally, All state highway patrol officers will undergo mandatory implicit bias training. Body cameras will be required on all stops. A civilian oversight board will review complaints. The district attorney appears on courthouse steps at 4 p.m. After reviewing the evidence, my office is filing charges against former officer Garrett Brennan. Charges include violation of civil rights under federal law, assault and battery, misconduct in office, and reckless endangerment. If convicted, what's the maximum sentence? Up to 10 years in federal prison. Mr. Brennan will never serve in law enforcement again. Garrett Brennan is arrested that evening. The same hands that pushed Dr. Hayes are now handcuffed. Booking photo, fingerprints, orange jumpsuit. The irony is not lost on anyone. Dr. Julian Hayes files a federal civil rights lawsuit 3 days later. ACLU lawyers flank him at the press conference. Julian wears a suit, not scrubs. He looks every inch the accomplished professional he is. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this for change. For every black professional who's been questioned, doubted, dismissed. For every life put at risk because someone couldn't see past skin color. The lawsuit demands policy reforms, training programs, accountability measures. Officer Brennan didn't act in a vacuum. He acted in a system that enabled him, protected him. Julian looks directly at cameras. We're suing that system. 3 months later, the trial begins. The federal courthouse in Atlanta is packed. News trucks crowd the parking lot. This case has become a flashpoint. Inside, the prosecution builds their case methodically. Dashboard camera footage plays on screens. The jury watches Brennan's contempt, his aggression, his racism. The lawyer's cell phone video plays next. The shove was captured perfectly. Julian's restraint is obvious. Dr. Hayes takes the stand, sworn in, seated. Dr. Hayes, describe what you felt during that traffic stop. Julian's voice is steady. Powerless. Despite my education, my credentials, my position, I was reduced to a stereotype. What were you thinking about? My patient, Margaret Shaw. I was calculating her survival rate, watching it drop with every passing minute. The courtroom is silent. I thought about my children, about how I'd explain that prejudice killed a woman. Defense attorney cross-examines, tries to paint Brennan as following protocol, but the evidence is overwhelming. Captain Shaw testifies. His voice breaks. Officer Brennan's prejudice almost made my children motherless. It shames our profession. Officer Walsh testifies, provides detailed accounts of Brennan's pattern behavior, names other victims. The jury deliberates for 4 hours. They return with a verdict. On the charge of civil rights violations, how do you find? Guilty. On the charge of assault and battery? Guilty. On the charge of misconduct in office? Guilty. On the charge of reckless endangerment? Guilty. The courtroom erupts in applause. The judge allows it briefly. Sentencing comes 2 weeks later. The judge is a black woman, 60 years old. She addresses Brennan directly. Mr. Brennan, your actions endangered a life. You violated civil rights. You betrayed the public trust. You wielded your badge as a weapon against a man whose only crime was being black and successful. Brennan stands, emotionless. No remorse visible. I sentence you to 18 months in federal prison, followed by 3 years supervised probation. You are permanently barred from law enforcement. You will pay a fine of $75,000 to the Southern Poverty Law Center. She continues. Additionally, I am ordering the State Highway Patrol to implement comprehensive reforms, mandatory bias training, body camera requirements, civilian oversight. The gavel falls. Justice served. Julian sits in the gallery, Sarah beside him. Emma and Marcus stayed home, too young for this. But they'll learn about it someday. Outside the courthouse, Julian speaks to reporters one final time. This verdict doesn't erase what happened. but it sends a message. Prejudice in uniform will not be tolerated. Lives matter more than egos. He walks away with his wife. Camera flashes follow them. But Julian doesn't look back. He's already thinking about tomorrow's surgery. Another life to save. Another chance to prove that excellence transcends prejudice. 6 months later. Memorial Grace Hospital's auditorium is packed. Medical students fill every seat. Residents stand along the walls. This is Grand Rounds, the weekly presentation where senior physicians share complex cases. Today, Dr. Julian Hayes stands at the podium. The screen behind him displays a surgical diagram. Emergency cardiac surgery, the Margaret Shaw case. He walks through the procedure methodically. The coronary dissection, the repair technique, the post-operative care. His voice is calm, professional. The voice of a teacher who's done this 1,000 times. A student raises her hand, young, eager. Dr. Hayes, the chart shows a 32-minute delay before you arrived. How did that impact the surgery? Julian pauses. The auditorium goes quiet. External factors delayed my arrival. The patient's survival rate dropped significantly, but we adapted. We overcame it. That's what surgeons do. He doesn't elaborate. Doesn't need to. Everyone in this room knows the story. After the presentation, Julian returns to his office. The afternoon sun streams through the window. His desk holds the usual clutter: patient files, medical journals, a framed photo of his family. There's a knock on the door. Come in. Margaret Shaw enters. She's 64 now, not 54. Time moved forward, but she's healthy, vibrant, alive. Dr. Hayes, I hope I'm not interrupting. Julian stands, smiles. Mrs. Shaw, never an interruption. How are you feeling? Wonderful, thanks to you. She holds out a basket. Homemade cookies. The scent of chocolate chips fills the office. My grandchildren helped make these. Grandchildren? 3 now. The youngest was born last month. Her eyes shine. I got to hold her, Julian, because you saved my life. They sit together, talk about recovery, about family, about second chances. Margaret's voice drops, becomes serious. I've been speaking at community forums about what happened that night, about implicit bias, about the cost of prejudice. That's brave of you. It's necessary. My husband, Len, he's changed the entire department. New policies, new training, real accountability. She pauses. But it shouldn't have taken my near death to make it happen. No, it shouldn't have. I want you to know, I'm grateful, not just for the surgery, for your grace, your dignity. You could have been angry, bitter. Julian considers this. I was angry. I am angry. But anger without action is just noise, so I channel it into teaching, into advocacy, into making sure the next Dr. Hayes doesn't face what I faced. Margaret nods, understands. She leaves the cookies and a hug. After she's gone, Julian sits at his desk. Think about that December night, the flashing lights, the cold, powerlessness. He thinks about Brennan, in federal prison now, serving his sentence, learning what it means to be powerless. He thinks about the 43 other officers who were disciplined or terminated after the department-wide audit. The system that protected them finally held them accountable. He thinks about Officer Walsh, still on the force, now training other officers on intervention, on speaking up, on choosing right over easy. He thinks about Captain Shaw, Deputy Chief Shaw now, using his position to dismantle the structures that enabled Brennan. Change is slow, but it's happening. Julian's phone buzzes. A text from Sarah. From, Emma wants to be a doctor. She told her guidance counselor today. She said she wants to be like you. He smiles, types back. Tell her I'm proud. Tell her she can be anything she wants. He thinks about Emma, about Marcus, about the world they'll inherit. It won't be perfect. Prejudice won't disappear overnight, but it will be better. Because people fought. Because people demanded change. Because one night on a highway became a catalyst. Julian stands, looks out his window at the city. Atlanta spreads below him. Millions of lives, millions of stories. He thinks about all the patients he's saved, the hearts he's restarted, the families he's kept whole. That's what matters. Not the recognition, not the lawsuit, not the viral video. The lives, always the lives. His pager beeps. Another emergency, another patient, another chance to make a difference. Julian grabs his coat, heads toward the elevator. This is who he is. This is what he does. He saves lives, despite everything. Right, because of everything. The elevator doors close. He rides down toward the ER, toward another crisis, another opportunity to prove that excellence transcends prejudice, that dignity defeats hatred, that one person can change the world, one heartbeat at a time. If this story moved you, share it. Comment below. Have you or someone you know experienced discrimination? Your voice matters. Your story matters. Hit subscribe to Black Tales Stories to see more stories where justice prevails, where systems change, where people fight back and win. Follow for updates on real cases of reform, real accountability, real progress, because every share, every comment, every conversation, it all adds up. It all matters. Here's what I want you to ask yourself. That night on Interstate 85, Officer Brennan saw a black man in a Mercedes and assumed criminality. He saw hospital credentials and assumed forgery. He heard about a dying patient and assumed lies. He couldn't imagine that a black man could be the chief of cardiovascular surgery. Couldn't imagine that his prejudice would cost someone everything. If Officer Brennan had stopped a white doctor that night, would Margaret Shaw still be alive? Would her husband still have a wife? Would her grandchildren still have a grandmother? Think about that. Think about how many Margaret Shaws don't survive. How many Dr. Hayes never reach their patients. How many families are destroyed by prejudice dressed in a uniform? And then decide what kind of world you want to live in. A world where credentials don't matter because skin color speaks louder? Or a world where excellence is recognized regardless of melanin? The choice is ours. Every day, every interaction, every moment we choose to see people, truly see them, beyond our biases. Dr. Julian Hayes chose dignity over rage. Margaret Shaw chose advocacy over silence. Captain Shaw chose reform over comfort. What will you choose?